Shalom, shalom. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ya'o Hanan, but I go by the name Ahabare on YouTube. So if you just tune in, please consider to subscribe, share, like, comment. And yeah, so when I see people laying like in a park here, sorry, I just thought about my arrival in South Africa. I'm going to tell you a little bit story about when I came to South Africa, like my entry point when I entered South Africa. First time, first day, where did I stay? Where did I sleep? How was it? So we left the Congo, which was November, around 18 November, I think, 1998. Angola, Cabinda. Cabinda has borders with the Congo, Brazzaville. So it's the other side of Angola that's kind of separated with the mainland Angola because they're not even connected the land. So you have to take either a flight or a boat, ship. You know, not like a boat, a small boat. No, you have to take like fully, like you can only travel by ship or by flight from Luanda to Cabinda. This is another side of Angola, and that one is apparently say that one of the Congolese leaders sold it in the past to Angola. So big mistake. It's an oil rich area that also causes a lot of trouble, and that's one of the part that caused the war in Angola. Was that part was brutal until today. Mine, with the mines, people, suffered a lot. So, but then yes, that was my journey. Then we arrived. We were three of us left Brazzaville, Congo Point Noir, and we arrived in Cabinda. Cabinda, we stayed, I think, for a week. We managed to get to Luanda because we didn't have a document, like we didn't have visas. But actually, like the Congolese, you can go to Cabinda with no, 1 day visa, entry. It's not hectic, it doesn't really disturb you, but you can't stay long. Then Angolan, because they speak Portuguese, so it's confused. Just to confuse each other as black people, it's very difficult because of the language difference. Because in Angola they speak Portuguese, in the Congo you speak French, and so it's just difficult to, they already know if you can't speak Portuguese, they already know you are not from there, and it's problems. Then from Cabinda, we got in Luanda. Luanda, we stayed also for 1 week. We managed. We got people who helped us actually, like manage getting, and we traveled to the south. So because we're coming down, so we traveled from Luanda to the south. We even had an accident on the road. First time I've ever been in an accident in our vehicle. A bus that we took from Luanda to we were going to. Not Benguela, we were going to Lubangu in Angola. So we did a route. Then that day ended up becoming a long day because we never made it because of the accident and delayed the things, and we had to sleep on the road. And from that, then we had to, my first time sleeping in a backpacker was in Angola. But the backpacker back then, it's not like a backpacker in South Africa. I mean, backpacker in Angola was like, you just, like, it's an open lounge where everyone just put whatever you have. You lay on the floor. Tomorrow, you've paid something. Tomorrow morning, you go to the river, you bath, you brush yourself, clean your face. Then you go back to, go get a bus and leave. So from there, then we went to Lubangu. We met some people, great people. Like my trip from the Congo until I arrived in Namibia I met good people who helped me. I mean, those guys, they didn't know us, but they lended us a hand, and they were very great people. Then from Lubangu, we we managed to falsify documents, falsify passport, and that's how people do. I mean, it didn't start with us. We didn't even know falsification of the document. Those things started with the Europeans and Americans, and we only made a copy cat of what they were doing. We only like become the copy and paste all the activities. Falsification of documents. Back then, our ancestors never had documents crossing borders. But then they come with documentation. You need enough a black person who's going to another black person's area. You need papers, you need passports, you need visas. It's become difficult. And African, it's the worst part is Europeans have opened their borders to Europeans. They have open border policy. Like, I mean, you from Belgium, you can go live and work in I don't know, like, I mean, in France, in Germany, in Poland, in wherever. You have no problem. But yet in Africa, we treat each other like dogs. I mean, it's a dog eat dog world, right? There's no open borders in Africa. I mean, even those, you look at the SADC region, there's no open border policy. SADC region comprises South Africa, Namibia, Botswana, how do you call it, the DRC, Angola, I don't know if it's Zambia also, but these guys still have visas. You look at the countries that Africans have, even how far the Caribbean or the South Asia countries, what China calls South China Sea, whatever, those countries even give Africans free entries compared to African countries. So, and again, that's a topic for another day. So we then at Lubangu, we go into Santa Clara, which is the border between Angola and Namibia. Then we enter Namibia because we have document. We asked for 1 month. The month was given to us. We arrived in Namibia in Windhoek, which is the capital of Namibia, the main city, Windhoek. The first we met a guy in Namibia, a South African guy, he's a Muslim guy. He helped us, really. That guy has business, Faisal Fresh Produce. He has business in Namibia, and he helped us get he gave us money, supported us. He did accommodate us for 3 days. Then he gave us money, put us in one of his trucks that was going back to South Africa. We didn't have a visas for South Africa, so he couldn't tell the driver to take us through because it will be a problem for his businesses if we got caught. So he told the driver to drop us in Windhoek, and we should call him if we have visas to go to South Africa. And we thought we were going to get visas. Then when we arrived in Windhoek, we were told, no one's gets a visa from here. You wouldn't get a visa. So your best way to do South Africa is jump the border. Okay. That's maybe one thing I will explain one day how we jumped the border. I never jump on foot. I came on a truck, but we crossed the border, no stress. The driver was, I will one day explain how I arrived in South Africa and what did I use, because that was the hectic. I mean, I heard about it, people talked about it, but when it happened to me, I was grateful, because that was like, say, if you in there, that is like the most secure cross border, and happened to us. So then we arrived in Windhoek, but struggled to get a visa. We couldn't get a visa. We got advice because it was January now, and we were told, now this is what we were told, if you cross the border now, you'll be arrested, because of in festive season from December to like maybe almost January, it's hectic. Now we are December, sorry, not January, we're in December. So we are told that from December it's festive season, so control is very hectic. Namibia side or South African side is very tough, so don't go now. The border is it's going to be hectic, and a lot of people died at the border crossing the Orange River, because crocodiles and the current took a lot of people passed away. The parents never heard about them. So, but I got lucky. We got lucky. So on that day, on that time, and when we arrived, someone told us, listen, guys, go to a refugee camp. They call it Osire. It's like 22 kilometers from Windhoek. You don't pay accommodation there. You don't buy food. So everything is given to you. Then you save a bit of money so that then you can go further with whatever you have. So there's less struggle. So since we've been given some money by this South African businessman in by the border of Namibia, in Faisal. So we then say, okay, let's save our money. Let's go to the refugee camp. So we apply we went in and claimed that we were refugees. So that we can get easy access to how do you call it, to accommodation, no buying food, no nothing. Everything is given to you. Then you save whatever you had. So we did that. Then 18th of January, I never forget. We left that place. So we needed to get out. We still had our visas. Our passport visas were expired because it was 1 month. And so from December to January. So then, as you travel, when you travel, there is certain things that happen to you. And only a traveler, as not someone who gets a visa, goes live in a big hotels, live a luxury life. They don't know nothing. If you do root into a struggle, there's certain things. So we had our passport, visas are expired. We couldn't leave the camp because if we are caught outside of the camp or outside of Windhoek, we'll be put in jail. And Namibian jail is you can go for 6 months. Nobody hears about you, your story. They don't send you to court, so you will never be. You cannot go to in front of a judge until the prosecutor maybe I don't know. It's like a luck or a draw. I don't know how it's happened there, but I know people who suffer such a fate. So what happened then? We decided to touch our visas. So I took a pen, some tools. Then I retouched our visas. This is a story I'm not shy to say it, or I'm not ashamed. I survived the route, and that's how a man does. When you're moving, if you get stuck, you make ways, and we made ways. So we touched our passport, extended our visa in some way because it was handwritten. It was not like a stamp or whatever. There's the printed visa. It was handwritten visa back at the time. They just write your dates from December. I don't remember December what to January. December 31st to January 31st. So then we just shifted so instead of 1, and they never wrote Jan on my passport. They only wrote 12. So 31st 12 1998 to 31st 01 point 1999. So what I do is I just scratched the 01, so only the 1, then I shifted 1 to 3. It's become March. So my visa then has a value of 2 more months. I was free to travel into Namibia. And my friend, his passport was, the person who wrote, they put Jan. Didn't say January, just say Jan. Then I scratched Jan and I shifted to March. So our passport then become valid for 3 months, 3 of us. Then we had a friend that we met there. We said, okay, we had some money, we're gonna help you go to South Africa. So join us. And he had to get a permit to leave because he was there longer than us, so his passport didn't have no more value. So he had to get a permit to leave the camp, which we did. Then we arrived in Windhoek. Windhoek, we went to where we got a vehicle to cross over. The guy lands with the driver takes we got a driver, Lucky. And when we landed in Appington, in the Northern Cape of South Africa, it's a province, Northern Cape, city called Appington. It's the first city that as you come from Namibia to South Africa, the first city that you get, it's Appington. I spent 3 nights sleeping in a park. We spent, because we didn't know, it's a small town, a very small town. Anyone who knows South Africa, who has been in Appington, it's a very, very small town. And at the time, the bread was still R1.99. So a bread was so cheap back then when we entered South Africa. I remember the cops were the best people ever as you entered South Africa in 1998, 1999. The cops were, oh, thanks. Okay, sure, that's a great day. We just wrapped now. So the cops were the best in South Africa, not the cops of, shame, cops of today in South Africa. Man, the cops will rob you. Back then, the cops get you. When the cops get you, just because people used to cross overnight. Then in the early morning they're already walking. The driver, they no longer have a driver, so now they're looking for left and they're walking on the highway. Then they will meet cops, because the cops used to patrol. It's a border zone, so the cops will always have to patrol the area. If the cops get you, they will give you a lift, they'll carry you, bring you to town, buy you a cool drink, a 2-liter Coke, ask you if you're hungry, say you're hungry, because people used to be hungry anyway. They will get you like 2 or 4-liter Coke, bottles of Coca-Cola. Then even sometimes buy you, because that's a refreshment. That was something that was very, easy to offer someone in South Africa. Then they will take you to the immigration. Say, okay, they will drop you there to state the immigration. This is your people. Deal with them, help them. And at the time, either the immigration will say to you, go to Cape Town or go to Johannesburg. And Johannesburg was the nearest city, is the nearest city to Appington. Cape Town it's further than Johannesburg. So that's a bit of how it's used to. I spent 3 days, because the first night we arrived, we didn't know anybody. We met a Congolese guy who came to sell. People used to sell like these guys that walk around, sell. So this guy was selling wipers blade, car wipers, the blades of the cars. So and visors, sun visors. So we then just say, we realized he was a Congolese guy, because as we look at the person, this is a Congolese guy. We spoke the language, he responded. Then we said, okay, let's help. We just arrived, we know nobody here, but since it's daytime, let's just help you. So we helped him, No, that was the second day. The first day we landed there. No, so we helped this guy. Then in the evening, we finished, we chilling at the park. He also didn't book, they never booked the hotel. There were 2 of them. So they never booked a hotel. So we stayed there we slept at the park. So that night, I was praying. When I finished, they have gone, I don't know where they went. So when I got done and I tried to follow them, I couldn't see them. As I was looking for them, the cops saw me. A police van stopped, asking me where was I going. And I said, no, I'm looking for my friend. Say, oh, okay. But my English was not great. My English was not good. So they said, okay, we know, what language do you speak? I said, I speak French. So, okay, we know some French people. We're going to take you. So then they took me to some West African. These guys were from Mali. So they took me to their house, and Uppington is a hot, hot, hot place. They took me to these people's house. I said, they gave me food. They took me in. These guys, they took me. Because the police said, oh, this guy is wandering around. He doesn't know anybody. Can you help him? So these guys then took me in. They gave me food at night. I slept in the house. And the following morning, because they had business in the city, they took me to town. And from that day, then we start sleeping at the park. We split 3 days, and after 3 days, then we had help. Some because we were broke. We couldn't reach Cape Town no more. We were broke. So these guys, some people, some Somalian guys, you know, they helped us. They made some, contribution there. We get money. First we send, because the money that we were left when we came to South Africa, my friend and the girl continued to Cape Town. So me and my other friend, we stayed behind. Then after a certain time, I think 2 or 3 days, then we got help from the Somalian guys. They contributed. They made some contribution there between them, and we got some money. Then the following morning, evening, we took a taxi from Uppington to Cape Town, and I'm gonna go now. So we took a taxi from Uppington to Cape Town, and so when I saw people like laying like this here, it reminded me back of my time when I entered South Africa. That's the story. One day I will sit even with my friend and I'll explain exactly like how I entered South Africa, because the way when I came to South Africa, I crossed the border. I will explain in my next, soon, but I will explain how I entered South Africa. I landed in South Africa. And again, if you just joined, please, if you just tuned in, please subscribe, like, share, comment, and like the video. Subscriptions are free. Please don't hold back. Help your brother here, and also help me grow on YouTube. Thank you again. Shalom.